I caught my own mother in bed with my husband on the night I came home early from my business trip to surprise him for our 5th wedding anniversary. The image of her 52-year-old body tangled with my 31-year-old husband will haunt me forever. But what destroyed me even more was hearing her whisper, "I told you she'd never find out, baby. She's too trusting, too naive, just like her father was." That's when I realized this wasn't a moment of weakness. This was a calculated seduction that had been going on for months, maybe years. My own mother had been systematically stealing my husband while playing the role of supportive mother-in-law. If you've ever felt the ultimate betrayal from the two people who were supposed to love you most, you're not alone. Subscribe to hear how I made them both pay for destroying my marriage and my trust in the most devastating way possible. My name is Jessica, and this is the story of how I discovered my mother, Diana, had been grooming my husband, Tyler, since the day we got engaged. Tyler and I met in college. He was charming, ambitious, and came from a broken home with an absent father and a mother who had abandoned him when he was 12. When I brought him home to meet my family during our sophomore year, my mother, Diana, immediately took him under her wing. "The poor boy needs a proper family," she told me after that first dinner. "I can see why you love him, sweetheart. He's got that lost puppy quality that brings out your nurturing side." I thought it was sweet how quickly my mother accepted Tyler. She invited him to family gatherings, bought him thoughtful gifts, and always made sure he felt included. When my father passed away from a heart attack during our senior year, Tyler was there to help my mother through the grief, fixing things around her house and keeping her company when I was busy with finals. After Tyler and I got married, my mother's attachment to him seemed to intensify. She called him directly instead of going through me. She asked for his help with increasingly personal tasks. She bought him expensive clothes and gadgets, claiming she wanted to spoil her son-in-law the way she would a real son. I was grateful. My mother had been lonely since Dad's death, and Tyler had never experienced maternal love. It seemed like a perfect arrangement. What I didn't realize was that Diana was playing a much longer game. The seduction began subtly. Diana started working out, dyeing her hair, and dressing younger. She claimed it was part of her healing journey after losing my father. She began calling Tyler when she knew I was at work, asking him to come over for innocent reasons: a leaky faucet, a stuck door, help moving furniture. During these visits, Diana would share intimate details about her loneliness, her struggles with widowhood, her fears about growing old alone. She positioned herself as a vulnerable woman who needed Tyler's strength and protection. Tyler, who had abandonment issues from his childhood, was drawn to this dynamic. Diana represented the mother figure he'd always craved, but she was also an attractive older woman who made him feel needed and important. Diana began inviting Tyler to lunch dates, shopping trips, and weekend activities when I was traveling for work. She convinced him these outings should be their little secret, because I might feel left out or jealous of their close relationship. She bought him a new wardrobe, claiming she knew men's fashion better than I did. She took him to expensive restaurants and sporting events, places I couldn't afford on my marketing salary. She made him feel sophisticated, appreciated, and desired. The psychological manipulation was masterful. Diana presented their relationship as emotionally pure, a lonely widow finding comfort in her beloved son-in-law's friendship. But she was simultaneously creating physical and emotional intimacy that crossed every boundary. She started hugging him longer, touching his arm during conversations, complimenting his appearance in increasingly suggestive ways. She bought lingerie and asked his opinion on which outfit made her look younger. She shared details about her sex life with my father, claiming she needed male perspective on her dating concerns. Tyler was completely trapped. He couldn't reject Diana's advances without seeming cruel to a grieving widow. He couldn't tell me about her behavior, without sounding like he was either lying or somehow encouraging it. Diana had created a situation where Tyler's kindness and loyalty were being used against him. But Tyler wasn't entirely innocent. By the time I discovered their affair, he was an enthusiastic participant. The night I caught them together, I had returned early from a business conference in Chicago. I wanted to surprise Tyler for our anniversary with his favorite dinner and the expensive watch I'd been saving to buy him. I used my key to enter quietly, planning to surprise him. Instead, I heard sounds from our bedroom that made my blood freeze. At first, I thought someone had broken in. Then I heard my mother's voice, breathy and passionate in a way that made me physically sick. I stood in the hallway for what felt like hours, but was probably only minutes, listening to my husband and my mother having sex in the bed Tyler and I shared. I heard them talking afterward, discussing their relationship as if it was a completely normal romance. "When are you going to tell Jessica?" my mother asked, running her fingers through Tyler's hair. "I don't know, Diana. This is so complicated. She loves both of us. She'll understand eventually." my mother replied. We didn't plan this, it just happened. Sometimes love finds you in unexpected places. Besides, I can give you things she never could. Experience, financial security, emotional maturity. What about the age difference? What will people think? Tyler, baby, I'm 52, not 72. I take better care of myself than most women half my age. And I know how to appreciate a man like you. Jessica is still a girl, really. She doesn't understand what you need. I recorded every word on my phone. Then I walked into the bedroom and turned on the lights. Hello, Mother. Happy anniversary to me. The scene that followed was pathetic. Tyler scrambling to cover himself, stuttering apologies and explanations. My mother calmly reaching for her robe, completely unashamed, acting as if I was the one intruding on their relationship. Jessica, sweetheart, I know this looks bad, but you need to understand. I understand perfectly, I said, holding up my phone. I understand that my own mother has been manipulating and seducing my husband for months. I understand that you've both been lying to my face while planning your little love affair. Tyler tried to approach me. Jess, please let me explain. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think, I said. You're fucking my mother in my bed on my anniversary. There's really nothing left to explain. What happened next surprised all of us. Instead of breaking down crying or screaming, I felt an icy calm settle over me. Years of marketing experience had taught me how to analyze situations objectively and develop strategic responses. Here's what's going to happen, I told them. Tyler, you have until tomorrow morning to pack your things and get out of my house. The house I bought with my inheritance from Dad, by the way. Mother, you're going to transfer the $50,000 Dad left you back into my account, since you've clearly been using it to fund your seduction campaign. Jessica, you can't just... Diana began. I can and I will, because I have recordings of this entire conversation, photos of you two in my bed, and documentation of every expensive gift you've bought Tyler over the past year. I also have access to Tyler's phone records showing your secret communications. I looked directly at Tyler. Did you really think I wouldn't notice the new clothes, the mysterious lunch dates, the way you started styling your hair differently? Did you think I was stupid? No, of course not. And Mother, I continued. Did you really think seducing my husband was going to fill the void Dad left? Did you think Tyler was going to replace the love you lost? Diana's facade finally cracked. You don't understand what it's like to lose the love of your life and watch your daughter have everything you want. Youth, happiness, a future. Tyler makes me feel alive again. Tyler makes you feel like you've won some sick competition with your own daughter, I corrected. This isn't love, Diana. This is pathology. I gave them both 24 hours to decide. End the relationship completely and try to rebuild our family bonds, or pursue their romance and lose me forever. They chose each other. Tyler moved into Diana's house the next week. They made their relationship public, posting photos on social media and attending events together. Diana loved the attention she received for landing a younger man. Tyler enjoyed the financial security and social status Diana provided. I filed for divorce immediately and cut all contact with both of them. But I wasn't finished. I spent 6 months documenting their relationship, building a comprehensive file of evidence showing how Diana had manipulated Tyler and destroyed my marriage. Then I began systematically destroying their happiness. First, I shared the recordings and photos with Diana's social circle, her book club, her church group, her longtime friends. Everyone heard exactly how she had seduced her own daughter's husband. The social ostracism was swift and complete. Diana went from being pitied as a lonely widow to being reviled as a predatory homewrecker. Next, I contacted Tyler's employer and shared evidence of his affair. Tyler worked for a family-owned company with strong Christian values. When the owners learned that their marketing director was having an affair with his wife's mother, they terminated his employment immediately. I also made sure Tyler's estranged family learned about his new relationship. His older sister, whom he'd been trying to reconnect with, was horrified to discover he was dating someone older than their own mother would have been. But my most devastating move was financial. I discovered that Diana had been using my father's life insurance money to fund her relationship with Tyler. Expensive dinners, weekend trips, designer clothes, even a new car. Since I was the named beneficiary on several of my father's accounts, I had legal grounds to recover money Diana had spent inappropriately. I hired a forensic accountant and sued Diana for misappropriation of estate funds. During the legal proceedings, every detail of their affair became public record. Local news outlets picked up the story of the mother-in-law seductress and her young lover. The financial and social pressure destroyed their relationship within 8 months. Tyler, unemployed and publicly humiliated, began drinking heavily. Diana, isolated from her community and facing financial ruin, became increasingly controlling and desperate to maintain Tyler's loyalty. They started fighting constantly. Tyler resented Diana for costing him his job and his reputation. Diana resented Tyler for not being grateful enough for her sacrifices. The final blow came when Tyler met a woman his own age at a bar and began cheating on Diana. When Diana discovered the affair, she called me sobbing and begging for forgiveness. "Jessica, I made a terrible mistake. Tyler doesn't love me, he was just using me. I destroyed our relationship for nothing. Please, can we try to fix this?" "No, Diana," I told her. "You made your choice. Live with the consequences." Tyler eventually left Diana for the younger woman. Diana ended up alone, financially devastated and socially ostracized. She lost her house, her savings, and her reputation. Tyler's new relationship didn't last either. Word of his affair with his ex-wife's mother followed him everywhere. No decent woman wanted to date someone capable of such betrayal. As for me, I rebuilt my life completely. I used the money I recovered from Diana to buy a beautiful new house in a different city. I got promoted at work and eventually started my own marketing consultancy. I met an amazing man who values loyalty and would never betray my trust. Diana occasionally sends me letters, pleading for reconciliation. Tyler has tried to contact me through mutual friends, claiming he wants to apologize and explain. I ignore them both. Some betrayals are so profound, so devastating, that forgiveness isn't possible. When your own mother seduces your husband, she doesn't just destroy your marriage, she destroys your ability to trust anyone completely ever again. But sometimes, that loss of innocence is actually a gift. It teaches you to value yourself enough to walk away from people who don't deserve your love, regardless of their relationship to you. Diana and Tyler thought they could have their cake and eat it too, conduct their affair while keeping me in their lives as the naive daughter and ex-wife who would eventually forgive them. Instead, they learned that some actions have permanent consequences. They lost me, they lost each other, and they lost the respect of everyone who knew them. I didn't just survive their betrayal. I used it as fuel to build a better life than I ever could have had with either of them in it. The last I heard, Diana was working as a store clerk and living in a studio apartment. Tyler was delivering food for a living and struggling with alcohol addiction. I own a successful business, live in a beautiful home, and I'm planning a wedding with a man who thinks the idea of betraying me is literally incomprehensible. Some people destroy themselves pursuing things they think they want. Others learn to build something better from the ashes of what they've lost. I chose to build.